Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Open Mic Season 2, Episode 4. TLCs, Tits and Tantrums, Take 2. Evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yes, we are.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Who's responsible for that name?
Which one?
It's a
Tits and
the show
Tantrums.
name.
I made it up myself
Part two.
today, mate. I thought it was quite amusing. TLCs, Tits and Tantrums and Tears and stuff like that. I thought it was quite funny. Just basically our feedback from the page for this week. It's just that there's more rants than
Anything else? Yep.
anything else. Okay.
Oh, Ren.
Oh,
little bastard.
for that one.
Ren's gone already.
See
Why is
open.
that?
All right.
See
Ren
open.
got me. Ren got me. I got to give him that one. That was all. Yeah, he got me good. Damn it. Sorry.
You playing silly buggers in there. So anyway, what we're doing tonight? Okay then. Yeah. So we've got various subjects to talk about, but some of the main things I think we're going to cover is the Harlock Citadel refit issue, the relocation glitch that comes up where basically you've got to relocate and basically a text box comes up with a lot of rubbish in it and you can't relocate. We're going to confirm the level 7, level 8 turret spite issue, basically the visual thing between level 7 and level 8 turrets. Okay, there's a medal glitch going on at the moment because obviously the Alliance medal system is a bit goofed and people are taking advantage of that slightly, to say the least. The TLC that's running at the moment and the damage levels received from it, that's the one that obviously you should be taking in your Cannoneers and smashing it, but it seems to be smashing us. Base parts, which is good, and Brian's going to have a little discussion on that one. He didn't know it, but he is. And then basically the base tiles. We've got some slides for you tonight to reconfirm after we've got a designated feedback, which is chapter and verse from Kickstarter on what you can and can't do in your base planner, and what's allowable and what's not allowable since the OP9 update. And then we'll have a quick look at the Mega Hulk TLC and anything else that's going on. That's enough, isn't it? That's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yay.
Have plenty of
Where'd
work.
Ren go?
Ren doesn't normally do Saturday nights. I'm not quite sure what he was doing in here. I didn't expect him to.
I think he was trolling me.
Was he trolling you? Was he?
He,
Good.
he baited the response and then he got it and then he left.
Oh, that's fab. Right. So first thing then, the Harlock Citadel. So I did this today, actually, believe it or not. I went to go into put the new V shells on my Harlock Citadel because obviously then you get 200% obviously projectile speed instead of the 100%. And I couldn't do it. I kept getting the SOS and that sort of stuff. And then I looked on the forums, which is a rare thing that I do. Let's go onto the Kickstarter forums. And then I noticed that there was a post there from Doom, actually. And it said that basically it's a known issue. And at the moment, if you were to go in there and start a gunboat and then cancel it and switch it across and do it as your Harlock sit instead, then you would be able to continue. But I think that's only for fresh builds, and I don't think you can do it for rebuilds, as in so refits, because I still couldn't do it. So I sacked it and went on to build something else instead. Anybody else had the same issues?
I haven't tried to refit. I'm just glad I got the refits done.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been going on for. I just don't know if anybody had any clues, or has anybody else seen anybody else in any of their alliances that it's not working for? There's a bit on the pages. Some people are saying the gunboat system works, and some people are saying the gunboat system doesn't work.
From what I have gathered, the gunboat thingy actually works if you're trying to build a new one. If you're trying to refit, you're, I guess, shit out of luck.
Yeah, I had to stop. I mean, it locked out on me about 8 times, I think it was. You know, and I tried all sorts of stuff, clearing cache and all that sort of stuff, and nothing worked. So I just couldn't do it. And then somebody popped up and went, and actually put in his post as well that building this gunboat thing would try and sort it out, but I couldn't get it to work. So
I heard the same. It was the refit that wouldn't work. New build may do, but refit wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad the new builds are working for people. That's quite important. But if you've done your R&D to 30, what you normally do is build obviously a blank first, and then you've got to refit it, don't you? So anybody that's done that now is a bit scuppered, So you're gonna have to go build it straight off in the first hit. Which, if you like building things in sections, or build a blank to go and rank it later, maybe that's now not possible, which is really annoying. But there you go. So that was to try and work around, was to get your Harlock Citadel building by building a gunboat, but you can't do it if you're refitting. So frustrating or not. Now, the other issue as well that came up this week as well was, do you notice the relocation bug that came in after the update? So basically, if you finish the raid as we normally do and then go to relocate, normally it's quite okay. But this one brought up a text box with a lot of, I don't know, every sort of like vowel, I think, in one sentence and that sort of stuff. But you couldn't actually read what it says. Now, the feedback from that was basically that the sector you were trying to move to had no room in it. And normally that brings up there's no room in this sector sort of box, and then you just get a chance to choose somewhere else instead. But instead, it just brought up a random text box, which they've taken away now. So I've been told. Has anybody experienced that one at all?
No, I jumped before the book came, but that reminds me of an old book that was, if you remember, there was a time that I think that all us were stuck in the sector. We were doing the raid for several weeks after, and since that's the same book that just came back.
All right. So you've seen it before, is it? Have you, Tia?
Something like that. I don't know if you recall, but there was once, I think we were stuck like 3 or 4 weeks in the sector that we did the raid, because after the raid, the relocate never came into the game again.
All right. Okay. Yeah, as a random one, I must admit, I'm probably relocating for a while myself, but I did see that, and then someone on the page popped up as well and took a screenie of it. So yeah, frustrating, but well, definitely frustrating trying to move around the sectors, obviously. But if I suppose you're just staying put in the same world, it's not the end of the world. I suppose you can still get up and down the world that you're in. But if you want to jump to another one, it is definitely.
I have a good question about that, actually. I don't know how they determine whether a sector is full based on like player bases in the sector or based on total number of objects in the sector. If it's the latter, then it might become free in the coming months if they do tend to take some targets off the map and replace them. Kind of like they did where they put in the Reaver and Drak Armadas, and now the Drak Armadas are gone, so there's fewer things on the map. Maybe if they keep with that trend of removing things from the map as they go through the year, maybe they will free up some room. But I honestly don't know how that works.
Yeah, not unless they.
But I don't know. We are in the same area, spaces, and those ones and those targets on the map, because I think that the circle area in which the targets are spawning is smaller than the one in the second area in which we are spawning around the drag bases.
That's
Yes,
true.
I
they
don't know
won't
if that's the
overlap. Yeah,
case.
you're probably right.
Yeah, just look in the chat there. Ford's in the chat, like, and he's just saying that some of his guys tried to port from the 400s down to 24, and they've all had it as well. So, so it is about. It just seemed world to world issue, not within the same world. So maybe, yeah.
I jumped after the raid from Alpha to Gamma, and I didn't get any problem. But I don't know. Maybe I was lucky.
I think it's just since this week's update. I think, isn't it? I'm not sure, but some of these glitches come back again, don't they? But,
well, I relocated on Wednesday, which was after the update, and I had no issues.
But they're saying, mate, it's just if if the sectors that you're going to is full. So
Right,
I don't know. Yeah, if that's according to what the poster came up. He said basically if there's room in the sector, then it's fine. It'll just jump you there. But if the old message used to come up and say this sector's full, choose another sector, but it just comes up with this rubbish gobbledygook instead. So I mean, it's not a huge issue. It's just clarifies what the message is is trying to sell you. If people just think it's a glitch on you can't relocate, well, it's not. You can't relocate. You can relocate. You just can't relocate to where you want it because it's full. It's just no indicator for it. That's all.
All right, understand.
That's the brief I've been given. I don't know whether it's factual because obviously I've not relocated myself, so it'd take a few people to jump in a couple of dead sectors to prove that fact. But yeah, I mean, Ford's just come up again and saying that basically his was the sector he was going to 24, most of it was empty. So that's interesting. Maybe that isn't the case. Anyway, so long as you're not getting beaten to death, I suppose you can just sit tight for a week. It's not going to be the end of the world, or try somewhere else instead. Not sure. Anyway, okay. So the other thing as well is obviously we'll jump on and basically, and that we'll talk about the medal glitch because I think it's quite amusing. So for those that really care about medals, and I certainly don't. A lot of people look around the medal tables. Have you noticed then that obviously there was the glitch where you couldn't see who you were fighting against when you had a battle and that sort of stuff, and there was no replay and that sort of stuff, and then you obviously weren't getting any medals for your hits or you were getting medals allocated at one stage, and then you weren't getting any taken off, and then you were getting some taken off, and you weren't getting them allocated. But now it seems like you're getting them allocated, but you're not losing from the base. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, since that they fixed one book with a new one, the way it works. But anyway, who cares about medals, as you said?
No.
If it was like the other games in which, depending on your position in the leaderboard at the end of the week, you get several coins or the divisa they use in that game, I could see a problem. But this way,
yeah. So at the moment, it seems like you can't lose medals on your base, but you can gain them. So what some alliances are doing, because they seem to care about it a lot, is they're basically untagging themselves and they're just going no tags and they're just going hitting each other's bases continually, and then they're just clocking up lots and lots and lots of medals. And now it's going like a medal count. It's going crazy. So personally,
I mean, some people,
who cares? But you know.
Some people use the medal leaderboard to try to figure out who to hit, like who to look up to in terms of base defense, or give themselves a good test, see if they can crack what they see as a strong base based on the player's position in the leaderboard. So this might throw that off for a little bit. But other than that, meh.
I mean, if it's a problem, they could always reset the bloody things.
Yeah, but that also, Brian, doesn't help, because if you want to do it and make somebody get mad with you, what you do is that you drop medals first. So when you drop medals first, everybody's 49 medals to you after that. So it doesn't matter anymore.
Just go and unload them, yeah. But if you can't at the moment, you can't unload them. So that's probably annoying as well. Because I know that's another little game people, isn't it? You take yourself from, 400 odd or 450 medals or 500 medals, but it was, and they take yourself down to like 100 just by 26% in lots of low-level bases, and then go around and then hit other people.
Yeah, but I mean that... I don't know. I can understand posting in the forums, people asking to fix bugs like the Citadel, for example, that case of Dines that lost 9 days of a refit. That's for me something understandable. But go to the forums and cry for medals, accounts going so high. Who cares?
Oh, it makes no difference to me. But for those allies that are right at the top end, it does, because what else have they got to challenge each other with? You know? Yeah,
but I mean, I prefer that the dev team works in some real issue books rather than that one.
Oh yeah.
When
You're
medals,
going to utilize resources time to fix things. Yeah, fix things like not being able to repair a boat or refit it. You know.
when medals help with the old repairs or something, then I'll care about them. Until then, it's like.
Or you were paid something at the end of the week, depending on how medals do you have, or there was a store that was just where you could buy tokens or stuff like that, just using your medals. Then I could see a real problem. But this way, it's very easy. You reset all the medals in game, and you start from zero again when they fix the problem, and it's solved. But the ones that have 400, 500, 600 medals, they will get those medals in a moment. The ones that didn't have medals will keep it the same way they were.
Yeah, Lloyd is in the chat now. He's just saying he's passed up the medal issue as well. So, hello, mate. How you doing? So he's passed it up as well. So,
yeah, I don't know if that's saying anything on the forums at this point. I mean, no offense, Laredo is going to do anything for anybody because, you know, every time an issue does come up and gets posted lately, it seems like it's getting locked. I mean, this is the second time we're jumping ahead, but we'll get to the 75 Armada targets later on.
Yeah, we'll get to the bigger stuff at the end because I think we're going to rush through these for 20, 25 minutes, and then we'll settle down a bit and we'll go in depth on the last two issues for about 15 minutes of each one, and then leave about 10 minutes of open space at the end. That's my plan. But yeah, it is interesting, I must admit. Well, anyway, that's the medal issue. And to be honest, okay, it's not my part of the game. It's not the mega holes, is it? It's not my part of the game, but for some people it is. It means everything to them, you know. So it's a part of the game. It should be working, and it's not working. So for those individuals where it is important, particularly the big alliances, you know, the top ones, it is important because it's about kudos, and kudos makes money, doesn't it? It makes them money. So, you know, if you can't get it working right, then you know, either don't have it there or fix the damn thing. That's my opinion anyway. But anyway, not to worry. Some good news anyway, as far as I'm concerned. We were talking about obviously the ironclads in that sort of stuff, and you know, base parts. The change obviously when OP9 came in, that everything could be updated. You know, all the update timelines for the lower end items up to, you know, like turret level 7s, that sort of stuff. And with collection of base parts now, it's quite reasonable to do, almost easy in fact, especially if you hit the 97s with an ironclad. People are racing ahead on the bases. Brian, your thoughts, mate? I know it's helped you a lot, mate, hasn't it?
Oh, loads. Because especially that in combination with the rebalancing, mostly lowering of times that it takes to build the turrets and OP9, you can now build them up with base parts. I had 6 turrets that I just hadn't built, like literally hadn't even started. And between a Scold Ironclad with a bunch of Mousers and an Omega Behemoth, because you can still use those on the current Drac mining bases, just not in the raids or after they change. And a couple of pretty relaxing weeks in Battle Pirates. Not a whole lot to do for me in particular. I got those 6 turrets up to level 7, and I've put Dead Executioners and Specials and Transformers and such on darn near everything. I've probably gotten 4 to 5 months of speed up for just going out and hitting base parts. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. I must admit. I mean, some of the guys in my alliance now, they're absolutely charging ahead of their bases. Where they thought they were like literally almost a year behind because they hadn't even caught up from the last OP. The only thing that's obviously annoying for some of them is the walls, but actually the walls don't really bother them. It's the turrets and it's the capability of them staying there. That was the most important bit, and they're catching up, which is good because they're going and either upgrading their turrets or they're going and taking turret tops off with some of the ones they're getting now, obviously, and then obviously just going out and get some more base parts and put the new ones on. So, and it's better, definitely. I think George and I were talking about this in the week. It's definitely better to, don't do an upgrade, wait, go get the base parts and then come back. Even if you've got to wait a whole day, it doesn't matter. Go and fix your Ironclad, that sort of stuff, then go and get the base parts, top yourself back up again. And obviously the higher level your warehouses are, the more base parts you can get. And then obviously, and then do them for free that way, or virtually free. You've got to fix your boat, but that's what you've got to do.
Yeah,
well, if you don't have enough, but it's going to be the time you are at work or sleeping at work after, you can even do that way. If you see that you're going to have 15, 16 hours and you are going to go to sleep and then go to work, you can even do that way. But yeah, I agree with what you said.
It's quite nice because you can use the reverse. Obviously, there's the calculator as well that we know is out there for that basically you can look at the next upgrade, click upgrade, look at the timelines, and then even work out exactly how many base parts you need to go and collect. And or if you say, do you know what, it's a 19-hour thing. Well, I'll be back home in 9 hours time from work. Well, I'll go and get 10 hours worth before before I go to work and get it done that way. So when you come home, it's all done and your boat's fixed as well, and then you can crack on again. So it's a quite a good way of doing things, I think, at the moment for people. Yeah. A lot of people are catching up, which I think is great. So there you go, base parts, excellent. Okay, so that's a positive in the game. So and that was quite kudos to the guys because when they I think it had to happen anyway. Otherwise, people would have got so far behind. Would have disillusioned everybody, to be honest. But it's definitely speeding people up. Have you done the OP9 yet, Brian? I take it you have, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I got it right quick. I saved the 7-day build tokens from Choke Point, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because I know at some point they're gonna just have it, and then I got that and my shipyard and my dock done because they're about 7 days build.
Cool. That's fine. That's good. So the only thing you can't obviously use your base parts for is anything that's been upgraded since obviously OP9 came out. So up to all the conditions of OP8, it was fine, but obviously the things that have upgraded since that point, you can't use them on that. So I saw a post on that today. I think it was someone was saying I can't use my base parts for this. Well, that's correct. You can't because anything that came with the latest update, you can't use base parts. So
level 8 turrets, the warehouses, but it's also if you're like I'm currently upgrading a turret right now, like upgrading it from 7 to 8, and I can go around and I can put base parts on the rest of my turrets, and I can put weapons and specials and whatever on it. But I can go over to like a resource generator and click upgrade and see, oh, I can upgrade it with whatever 1,000 base parts, and I'll click on do it and it won't because I'm already building something. That's the turret, so you can't.
Yeah,
build
that's frustrating.
Yeah.
So you just got to do it in the right order and that sort of stuff. Otherwise, you get yourself a little bit frustrated because you can't do both things at the same time. I think we've all found that, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks like you can do it and you can't. So it's just be careful about that. It's probably intended, but they never really said it. But we're saying it here.
But, well, you can just go with all your turrets first to level 7, and once you have them all, build a grade 1 to level 8. And if you started for the FM and use the base parts on that one, or you wait for the end, you are holding 2 days on building tokens, and 2 more that you get the next week, and 7 and all those, you maybe are waiting 1 or 2 days, or maybe just 1 day, and you have that done, because it's 11 or 12 days to get from level 7 to level 8.
Yeah, it is. You got a bit of time lag then, which is okay, isn't it?
I think at times it's a bit of planning, and during that week, all you can use is all those base parts. You have plenty of time to gather and just go refitting all those level 7 turrets that you want to change some way. Or at least is what I did. I went all 7 first, and then upgrade 1 to 8 and refit the other ones that I wanted to change any of the components they have.
Yeah, I'm looking my guys to do to the 7 first, and also do the warehouses up to the maximum before they do their OPs as well. And then the first thing I did was upgraded 2 warehouses to 15 as soon as they finished their OP9, so they get the bubble pad sorted out again.
Actually, I don't have yet the warehouses at 15. I didn't find it necessary. I went into EP4 damage calculator, and I saw I didn't need it. So the only thing is that each time I change 1 to level 8, I see how that distorts my bubble spot, and just work with that and check if I need. So far, with all level 14 warehouses, you don't need to go to level 15, depending on the setup of your base, of course.
Wow. I mean, I changed mine just because then I can get 1.2 million something or other base parts stacked up in one hit. Well, I'm not really using a great deal of base parts now because I've virtually finished. But
with all 14, you have already 1 million and 1,100,000. How much is when you have them to level 15?
Oh, I can't remember now. I was making a number up, but it's 1 million and something. I can't remember what it is. Is it 1 point? I thought it was about 1.3. Oh, maybe more. I don't know.
Oh, the max base parts you can hold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,213,600. Yes. With OP9 and all your warehouses 15. Each warehouse 14 to 15 will give you 10,000 more, and OP 8 to 9 will give you 200,000 more.
Right.
So that's something.
Because to be honest, I was interested on having, I think it's 824,000. That is what costs you to go to level 7 in a single shot, without having to wait any single moment or day just to get a grade. And that was for me the important part. Be able to hold that amount after that, all is welcome. But for me, not necessary at the moment.
It's like 920,000 to get up to 7, I think, because I just did some. So that's your goal if you want to get 6 to 7.
Okay, mate. It's worth doing though. Definitely, it's definitely the way ahead. And like I say, even if you got to just go, because if you, I know 6 to 7 is like something like 12 days, something like that, isn't it? If you or I can't remember what it is anyway. One of them quite long, and you just think, so well, don't do that. Just go use the base parts instead, or is it a refit? One of them, anyway, I can't remember what it is. But sometimes it can take a long time to do some stuff, and base parts is definitely way ahead. It just means you just got to wait for obviously the right numbers. I don't think anyone's hitting the 70s and 60s anymore. Not their ironclads are out. Everyone's looking for the big 95s and the 97s, aren't they? So I think it's like, was it 120k for the 97 and 60, isn't it, for the 95 or something like that?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Don't hit the subsector bases if all you're looking for is base parts. They take a long time to do, and they give you quite a bit more damage, but they give you 65,000. Like I hit them for blueprint parts, but that's
just not worth it, is it? Because I mean, it's only 5 more than flipping hitting the 95s, isn't it? So waste of time. And you can do probably 4 95s in the same amount of time, probably. To be honest,
2 to 3, I think.
Yeah. Well, it depends if you're driving or if you're autoing. So because the freaking torp towers annoy me because the ship goes around and does all them before it does anything else, which is really annoying. But 97s are the way ahead, especially if you haven't got the lead cent as well. It's quite decent. Right. Anyway, that's base parts. Okay, we're quite good, and that's a positive. It's definitely starting to pan out for people. I think I see quite a lot of progression. I saw level 51 who had OP9. Bless it. I thought it was quite good. Yeah, level 59 base with a LP9 spike picture. It's the lowest one I've seen so far. So I was quite impressed with that. Let's hope it's genuine, but I'm sure it is. So yeah, just to confirm then. So we've had some traffic this week about turrets upgrade, and people saying there's a visual difference between level 7 and level 8. There is no visual difference between level 7 and 8. Okay, the only thing that confirms that something's a level 8 at the moment is obviously the cat mortar with obviously a transformer on it as well. It's not possible to have a level 7 turret. Anything else is sort of feasible.
Let me go back and double check. I think I have, because I know I have unupgraded level 8s. Yeah, I think I have an unupgraded level 7. It's not. Yeah. It's not the level.
Transformers on it. It's when the transformers on it. You can't tell the difference between the two.
Yeah, but you can as soon as you put that cataclysm mortar on it, because it can only fit because the amount of power it needs. It can only fit a level with a transformer. It can't fit on a level 7. It's not possible. with a transformer.
Yeah, but yesterday we were discussing about that, and honestly, I think it's better without the transformer that setup that you're talking, because you go from 110 splash that nearly guarantees that you're going to hit the guy that is getting into your base, rather than having, what much is it? I think it's 56 instead of the 24 or something like that. No,
it's 40. It's 48 splash up to 63 splash. A difference of 50% on the 30.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that also depends on how you have yours set up. Like I have 2 different ones set up for mine.
No, I just wanted to say that when you're doing that, just make sure, because in some setups, especially if they make U-turns, probably you are going to catch them more easily. But in other setups, because most bases have long channels that are go straight lines, unless they have a very fast fleet, you probably go better with more splash rather than more damage that maybe don't hit them.
So visually,
unless you have something that base, unless you have something that is really nasty there that force them to stop, yes or no. Like it could be, I don't know, those gargoyles that we are seeing in some bases.
So just bear in mind then, basically, I mean, that's the only sort of turret at the moment that has the power that draws it, that has to have an OP9 update and a level 8 turret. All the rest of them you can fit on a level 7. So even when you update it, until you hit it, you aren't going to know what it is. You won't have a clue.
Yeah.
You know. So
especially
when it's not dying, you can guess it's level 8.
Yeah, if it's not dying and you see that they just slap you hard, it's a level 8 turret.
Yeah. It's annoying for front line turrets as well, because some people have got quite a few in the front line, and some people have got some obviously level 7s which melt quite quickly, but the level 8s can be, in some respects, it's quite decent, because some people like to rush past the turrets now, don't they, and just try and charge into the back. But if you want to go around the back end as well, and some people got some, level 15 turrets with lots of explosive defense on them, and obviously some level 8 turrets around your OP as well, and the OP's all beefed up as well. I've seen some people even run out of time hitting bases lately, so it's it's interesting.
You see a lot of people hitting bases and not being able to
just timing out
to kill the OP because of that.
I do like. Yeah, I do like the increase in armor points. Not necessarily, 5 times as much as it was, but just the general concept. Increasing the armor points is going to make things like the defensive specials, the alloy panels, CM or whatever, or your defensive armors matter more, because you're getting more effective health. If you have 50% pen defense, it takes you 500,000 to kill a 250,000 health turret, but the level 8 turret, that's 2.5 million worth of health you got to plow through. That's a lot. So it's nice to see defensive stuff.
Mind you saying that next month we know what's coming. We got a T6
Yeah.
coming, haven't we? So as Damnation just said, enjoy yourself for a month, because they ain't gonna last long.
1 million damage.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be getting millions of damage per volley or something stupid like that. They'll be like, oh no. Let's hope it's not too much power creep, because that would just kill the game. But at the moment where you sort of like you're getting in there, and some people are, you're running out of time before you kill the OP. That takes me right back to when the first Dreadnought came out, which was a nice strong hull. But the OPs were still quite strong, and you couldn't kill the damn things off. So you get past the guard, you get past the turret, you get to the OP, and sometimes you just time out, which is really frustrating, Although the OP didn't matter back then. It was all about just trying to get some res. Hitting the OP was not the end of the world, because there was no medal system and that sort of stuff. So you could really hit anything you wanted.
But there was that funny part when you got into the OP just using your kudos that were full with siege cannons and just smashing that base. Taking all the resources when the resources were meaning something that not like now.
But yeah, they don't anymore, do they? They used to,
Yeah, you remember those times that you got those floating fortress just holding in the entrance, and you were just with your kudo filled to the top with siege cannons, just sailing the channel and getting into that, using your pinch and just smashing that OP and getting the other one pretty much, because you were taking probably all his week of gathering resources, and the salvages wasn't that easy.
Okay. Just thought we just quickly mention the obviously the 2 TLCs that are on at the moment as well. The Mega Hull one, which is interesting, and I know Imri's been playing in that. Well, he didn't play that much, to be honest. He's on the first level, same as me, and then basically decided not to get any further. You've just done the first one, Imri, haven't you?
I've just started doing the second one.
Okay, so it's an Apollos thing, isn't it? And that sort of stuff. Yeah. For all those individuals that have just got your mega ship and that sort of stuff, just be cautious, Because obviously you might have a great set of Apollos and you were doing the previous raid set, no problem at all, the one before the Hellwraith, you know, and thinking, yeah, this is a piece of cake. But the problem is then if you've just built your mega ship, it's about 140 to, or up to 280 probably, then there's those monster ones out there that are just going around hoovering up everybody's stuff that they've just won. Aren't they, Imri?
Well, I still can't steal more than one of each.
No, you can only steal one of each, but obviously when you've got a monster mega ship and it's, you know, it's ranked right up there, you can go and kill off quite a few mega ships and then hoover up what you can and get some more upgrades done yourself. So I suppose titanium is the only thing you're going to get short of. Cause
actually, it's possible to do dozens in solo.
Is it?
Well, my record is 45, 6 or 7 in one go. No help.
47 ships in one go?
Yep. And not all of them are 145s. I've killed a bunch of 270s, 80s, 90s.
That's a long night.
Yeah.
It took about 2 or 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Well, for those that are interested in getting titanium, in my opinion, you're best sticking with 91s rather than doing the old TLC.
That's if you can get a sector into orange, though, isn't it? A lot of people are struggling at the moment with that because a lot of people aren't prepared to go out and hit the new uranium targets.
That's true.
Yeah. I can say you that first 2 packs were not worth for me at all, but the third one, since I'm starting the mega haul, was worth because sometimes to get the 3 3 metal alloys and the 2 advanced components, so you can get that. Especially me, that I have not alliance yet, so I cannot get help from others. And to build one of those rockets, it's worth because you can just finish it, and if you are lucky that nobody's hitting your mega ship at that time, you have the elements, so you can just spend the 3 days building that thing.
Yeah.
So that one for me is worth. The other one is not, because you get 2, and at least to build the mortar or the cannon, you need 1 component. So you are with one that you know that somebody can just steal from you, because unless you coin the 3 days, you know that during 3 days you cannot use anything for anything.
I'm still not quite sure what this is trying to compensate. Now I know obviously you can get some interesting things for it, but you know, is this compensating for the fact that people at the moment can't get their sector bars up to orange and that sort of stuff because the uranium targets are, I'm not saying difficult, but they're time consuming if you want to take no damage, that sort of stuff. Whereas the previous ones, we were like zipping them around with Apollos, and 30 seconds, 45 seconds, you were done, and everyone was going for the 75s. And it was no problem at all. Now it's not so much fun. You know, it's 57s for free if you're using a decent set of tides. And we can go into the damage now as well, George, at this time. And you know, if you're going on to the bigger ones, it's debatable whether it's cost effective. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the targets are so much larger and have so much more health. It just takes so much longer no matter what. And a sector that could get into orange before because you just bang, 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 go through with Apollos, well, those targets weren't tuned to that sort of fleet speed that the Apollos have, so they're smaller. You might not be able to physically get into orange in 2 hours now, even with the right fleets, because it just takes so long per target. Sorry, George, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I mean, I think the problem is the time investment if you want to do it with the Hellwraiths is ridiculous. There's not, I mean, you know, people want to get in, play the game. The chores should not take that much time. The alternative is the tides. And that was all well and good up until, I mean, something changed in the targets. Not for every single build, because there are several builds I've been testing, and I can find ways to get around the change. But with the regular standard reciprocator build that people have been using, damage has gone up. I have comparative videos for both the 57, and I did one today for the 75, and you can clearly see there's an increase in damage, significant increase in damage on average between December and now, which is, and
also in the co-op ones as well, isn't it? You've noticed that periodically you go in and do co-op, and some people are getting like double the damage, as if you're getting both persons damage on one fleet.
That one's a little bit weird, because the thing with that is I would say I've done probably about 14, 15 of them now, and I'd say in a third of them I get this weird thing where my damage is doubled. I mean, on average the damage is higher than if I'm not co-oping by only 30 seconds to about a minute 30 on average, right? But every once in a while, every about third one, I will get literally double the damage than what I should have gotten, which is really strange because I can't see where it's coming from. I probably have a dozen videos that I got to go through and figure it out. But I mean, yeah, it's happening. I just don't know why.
I think that's an also type of book that just came back as well into the game, because that reminds me the times we were complaining to Kickside when you could do raids more co-op, that they were rising the damage you were taking, because at the end you were thinking that if you were co-oping, it was going to be likely you're getting half of the points and going to get the other half, and our damage is going to be half at the same way. So you could be doing the raid for longer or even more if we were cooperating and tanking one for the other way around. And the problem is that at some point you were getting nearly the same damage for doing it solo as for doing it with somebody, and you were just getting half of that, the points. So I think that for some reason some old bugs are coming back into the game.
I think personally, I mean, I don't know what you think, but I think the acknowledgement or non-acknowledgement of the fact that the damage is varied at the moment in some of these targets. So that's putting some people off hitting the bigger ones now. But then also the fact that because it almost takes a group effort now to get your sector into orange, and you need to have a busy sector. And because we're not getting into orange very often in many sectors, I mean, I'm fortunate I'm in a good sector and we get it into orange pretty quickly. But the point is, many people now who were maybe thinking about getting into the mega hole thing or wanting to start, and they can't because they can't find a sector that's in orange. Right. So I think they need to look at this and look at it properly, because otherwise they just shot themselves in the foot. And GDR, who's a big push on obviously the mega hole thing, I'm sure he must be stamping his feet in the Kixie office, because people aren't getting to do now what he wants them to do, and that's to build mega holes and go fight.
It compounds the problem, the mega hole, but it also the other problem is that when the community has an issue and they go to the forums, Laredo, I'm sorry, people go to the forums and try and say what they're having, what issues they're having, and shit gets closed inside of 30 seconds going, well, I'm not seeing it, so it doesn't exist. Dudes, that's going to turn people off from playing. So if you want us to engage further in the game and get into the mega holes and get into this and get into that, this kind of stuff has got to stop. I mean, that's just, it's getting excessive at this point. We got to be able to talk. There's got to be communication. Otherwise, we're going to have an issue, because if we can't even if people don't even want to hit the targets because they're having issues, and those targets are required to get into orange so everyone else can start doing their mega stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a compounding problem. It's like a little catch-22 that has developed, and there's no outlet for the community other than our page right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, and a couple of pages. I mean, let's not be too.
Couple of pages,
yeah.
Except for the pages on Facebook. But the outlet that should be there, really, honestly, should be the forums. I mean, that's where we should be able to bring an issue to be seen. So
I mean, I do honestly see it's a two-stage thing. I mean, one, the targets are too slow to get the sector bar up into orange, or and then the targets are somewhat difficult or mediocre in their output delivery, that it's scaring some people off and going, oh, I'm not taking that. And I've just seen a couple of people in chat go, well, I go get my uranium now from Dubs instead. I don't bother hitting, don't bother doing it in a different way. So it's, yeah, I just think they've shot themselves in the foot a little bit. And I don't mind the targets. I think they're quite decent. But it's just, yeah, I'm slightly frustrated for the community, not for myself, because I don't, I can get stuff that I need to. I'm not really that worried about too much. I don't have much to do in my base either, and my mega hole's reasonably built, but it's just not getting people where they need to be.
But do you think the mega hull is actually a viable thing currently in the game?
There's a lot of people like playing it, mate.
Well, it
can be fun, yeah. It can be fun.
It can be
I can
fun,
say that.
It takes a lot, and you've got to, give a lot of time up. It's another
base, isn't it? That's the thing, is it's not a ship.
Yeah.
It's a base. So it's like having a base within a base, isn't it? A base within a game.
At first it's very
cool. But the trouble is, though, it's a base. Maybe it's a base, but you've got like a mega hull that's meant to be, as you say, a base, but you've got people attacking it. That's 3 or 4 fleets also joining in, and it's just like you got no chance. They're not able to defend themselves.
The problem is that you see many people like me that are not in alliance and have it, and yeah, I'm just a sitting duck over there. So when they finally hit it, and that's all. But once you get high on your mega ship and you get your drones and all that stuff, it becomes funny because you can just go with your mega ship and kill other mega ships without even needing help at some points. But it's something that requires a lot of time to invest on it. But hey, how many don't go into the game, just check if the build is finished or the refit is finished and just turn another one, do the chores and just leave? Well, they have another incentive to keep in the game a bit more.
I see the mega ship a little like the old tournaments. I see it very similar to that in Ray. It's a take it or leave it thing. So far, I don't think it's impacted in the main game. Not really, to be honest. Yeah, there's a couple of TLCs and that sort of stuff, but actually it's not stopped me from doing anything in my base at all. And none of the targets are geared towards the megas where I need to hit those targets to continue in the main part of the game. So I think the balance is okay there. And if you've built one and you don't want to play it, just go and stuff it some corner out of the way somewhere and just ignore the damn thing.
Yeah, I think that once, because I think I understood that way, that at some point, this is going to have likely a second dock just to repair a fleet that you could be able to use while you are fighting other ones. So it's going to maybe make the PvP more interesting when you can go hit and have that fleet that is supporting your mega ship, helping you and hitting other things. But the problem is that they are introducing it very slowly. But hey, I don't want them to rush more because each time they rush a bit more, it comes full of bugs and allies, and I want a bit of those nasty bugs to go away.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, there's enough of it. There's enough bugs around.
The way I look at it, guys, is that if I want to spend some time having fun here, either I go out and hit bases, do some chores, or hit megas. Now, if I hit bases, all I can get is medals, and we all know what that's good for. If I hit megas and I get stuff out of them, I can use that to make my mega even better. So
that's a fair point. That's a very valid point. It's the one thing you can do that can increase what you can do, isn't it?
Yeah,
apart from Rezo, which you can get any old way. Whereas, apart from taking a long ass, go and get some titanium and doing a long ass 24-hour, pause and wait for one item, where some of these mega things you need like 12 to 14 once you get up the few of the levels. Like Imri said, you can go around and hit 30, 40 different mega ships, and then he can do that in probably 2 hours.
Yeah,
have fun doing it. Yeah.
But come on, man, you can't do that on your own. You know you're not going to go and hit loads of mega holes by yourself. You're going to have
trust me,
alliance members who are going to come along and buy fleets in.
But that's the thing. They never introduced this to be something that you could just go solo. This was something that was introduced so you could go into an alliance and use it.
And have some alliance.
If you feel like myself and you're not in alliance, it's your own fault to have done it. Because
I hit megas. I hit megas without an alliance. I hit megas solo all the damn time.
Yeah, but which level are you hitting? The same level as you or lower level?
Exactly.
No, about the same level as me. I'll go and whack a 270, 268, something like that.
Depends where
I can't do 20 of them, but I can hit them and I can win.
In order to be able to do that many, 20 or even more, you're gonna need a chopper. That's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Without that, all of those cannons are going to hit you all the time. If there's a cannon shooting at you, it's gonna hit you. The chopper, they sometimes miss.
Yeah, interesting. Right. Anyway, that's Megas. I just thought I'd mention that. I just think they shot themselves in the foot. It's great that the reunion targets are changed, but I don't think. And it's a bit. I suppose it's knock-on effect from obviously that raid format, because a lot of people didn't like driving around with subs and that sort of stuff. So all those individuals that are either taking damage in the tide and they look at the damage on the tides versus the uranium they're getting, and they're going, well, I ain't doing that. I'll just wait to my weekly and that sort of stuff, and I'll use that much uranium instead. Or they're going to go and use their ironclads and go and get from somewhere else and not even bother hitting them. But that's the only thing that gets us up into Sector Orange. So, yeah, I don't know. It's up to them if they want to look at it. Right.
I thought that when they introduced the 102, that was going to be something likewise the 100 South. I
thought it was well. I thought the 102 would do the job, but it's not.
Or they just oversight that one and they didn't check because giving you the same amount of points from a 75 at 102, I think it's wrong. they should at least give more.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because you need to get into orange, and between the limited time of being in orange and the limited time it takes to get, I feel like that's almost a revenue stream that they're kind of losing out on, because I got to go out and get all this stuff done now. And yeah, some of us can auto 91s or go smash dubs with an ironclad or whatever. But some people might, take a bit more damage doing that, but they would coin their repairs to go back and hit more, because they need to get their whatever in the time that the sector's in orange. I think the sector point should be upped proportionally to the time, both in physical time the targets take and the damage that we take, to get us to orange quicker. Because again, I don't think they're losing anything by doing that. They might even be gaining something by doing that.
I think the only positive I like is the fact that the megas is the littler. I'm not saying the little guy. I'm just saying the littler guy. The smaller alliances can actually go and compete with massive alliances, and it's pretty fair. If you've got your reasonable fleets and that sort of stuff, especially if you catch them, unawares and that sort of stuff, you actually can go and hit a big, alliances, mega holes. As a couple of mine have, we annoyed a couple of people yesterday, alliances, they came back and hit all the bases and that sort of stuff, particularly all our lower levels, but we don't care, so what? Just press fix and then get your dock back. But, it's nice to actually go and hit a small alliance like ours and go and hit an alliance that's like 3 times the size of yours and actually manage to take some stuff off them for a change. So it does level the playing field a little bit, not huge, because a lot of them racing with obviously support ships and that sort of stuff. But those that don't, or you catch them at the right time when they're offline, you can take one, back from the big guy, which is good fun.
And it's things that you're already doing anyways, or have done, because some people are hitting with Apollos. Well, you probably have those built already, and if you don't, well, they're in the foundry area. You can go out and get them, and they're really useful. Or some people would hit with Conqueror fleets. Well, you probably have those built already for hitting bases, and the time it takes to build those is getting shorter. So it's nice that the things that we already done, that we've already finished, have another use in the game for really no additional cost.
Right, hold that thought, and then we'll come back to that in a month, okay? Remember what Brian just said there?
That's fair.
No, there's a reason I've said that.
So are you saying this is going to be Brian's fault this time?
No, not at all. That's a very good statement Brian just made there.
So I get the egg to put on my face now.
Right, I'm going to move on, if you don't mind, guys, because that's 50 minutes already.
Go ahead.
Now, we'll just quickly talk about the other TLC that's out at the moment, obviously, and that's the one where you're having to go and try and get these rogue crews, which is great when you get level 1.
The most popular one, no?
Then you go on to the last level, and it's just like, it's a shame Ren's not here, because I think he just blow his stack, but he has, and obviously there was a post put up on the Kickside forum, which was taken down in seconds. But I know he's posted a video on our page as well. Ren likes doing his tutorials. It's one thing he does. He's very good at that sort of stuff. But I think even he flipped a lid when he started doing that one, because 5 lovely Cannoneers and that sort of stuff, and he got minced in the last level, and I don't think they thought that one through, to be honest.
Yeah, even on the first level, if there was a guy that sent me the video and I actually posted it up, I just took the one clip where he had turned around, didn't realize that he was getting shot by the other big cannon, and as he was turning around, he caught the very, very edge corner of the big blast, and it sunk all 4 of his Cannoneers. One shot, like right on the edge of it, too.
He was a happy chap, wasn't he?
No, he was not. It was like a 12-hour repair.
You know what worries me the most of this TLC and the last BXP weekend with that 100 target? That we all have gone low on armor, so we can put the max number of millenniums or maybe millenniums with those Mausers. So you have the splash to help you hitting the clusters in those targets, especially the 75 and ally. And getting low on that armor, when that long ballistic range hits you in the 100 and now in this TLC specifically, you're losing half of your ship at least.
Well, that goes back to the whole discussion that we were having about the Apollo and the Hellwraith and this one. I mean, with the Apollo, the fleet cost, the overall fleet cost when it was dead was way less than the Hellwraith. And the Hellwraith was less than this. And both the Hellwraith and the Apollo have repair modifiers that are like almost half. Well, not almost half, but they're a third less than what the Cannoneer is. Now the problem is, and Kick's response was, well, you're not supposed to die. You're supposed to be able to hit the target and then repair. The problem I have with this is that the damage is so punitive in these targets that should you mess up, you are taking a disproportionate amount of damage compared to the past raids. And I don't know that was not planned, because when we go in for the VXP targets, we have to suicide now. When you do have a screw up like we've seen with that 51 or whatever it was that the guy turned around and lost his entire fleet, it's a 12-hour repair. Okay, that's a 12-coin repair during raid time. 12-coin repair for no armor fleet during raid time for only 4 ships. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's all about context. It's like, oh, my ship has 15,000 armor. Well, that's great. How many shots can it take? And if the answer is 1 or 2, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like the last raid set, George, you had an unarmored Hellrace, and you could take a good couple shots before dying. I put more armor on mine, so I could take 3 shots. But it's like, those are. I felt that was a little more fair, strangely enough. And even then, putting the resist, I just checked in my shipyard. 3 D1Cs on a Cannoneer puts you up from 85 ballistic defense up to 90, which, I mean,
that's a huge jump.
It's all right, but I don't feel like it matters. I feel like we need ironclad style. What was it, like 95 plus the 80% from your bloodthirst, plus the 80% splash damage reduction or whatever from your other thing, plus your Highlander's nuclear, like 99 3/4% defense to reduce that damage down to a point where a deflection can take care of it.
Yeah, here's the thing.
And I don't like that.
The last time I thought that it was a balanced type of thing in terms of damage taken and armor on the ship and all that other stuff was the Apollo. I think the Apollo was a really good balance. You go in there and get hammered. You'd come out and it wasn't too expensive. It came out to a good ratio in terms of cost to coin. And it's been thrown off completely. And I think the Hellwraith type of mess was part of the issue, but then the Cannoneers the whole thing is not well balanced, I don't think. Not for that amount of armor, for that repair efficiency, and for that overall cost to repair a dead fleet. I mean, USOS once, and you are so boned.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to mention on here because they'll watch the show, but yeah, I mean, there's some stuff in chat there, and I agree with that method, I must admit, and I can see that if my Cannoneers die, then I will be bringing them out, but they won't be fixed. Put it that way, not fully. Yep. And I'll just take the risk of if I can get around and not get hit, then I'll not get hit. If I get hit, they'll go back in my dock again, and then I'll come out in 25 minutes later, and then I'll be back out again. So I'm not going to wait 14, 15 hours and that stuff, or certainly not going to coin the damn things. No way. Absolutely.
Hey, the last time the Scourge raids happened, I actually zombied Mastodons. That's how I did it. Yeah. And it worked fantastic.
And I just flip that between the irons that I've got, and God for sake, anybody that hasn't got the Harlock version, because they're going to be so slow. If this is the S-type target, it's a preview.
Yeah.
It will not be fun for anybody.
Maybe you can do something similar here if you mix ironclads with Cannoneers.
Ew. Oh, that's right. You put as a tank.
Yeah, using that one, the ironclad as a tank, yeah. Yeah, it's potential.
Depends.
I don't know, but it doesn't give any boost. It doesn't boost. Ironclad only boosts at speed and obviously turn, doesn't it? So there's no boost potential. It's the splash, I think, that got most of Ren's fleet, wasn't it?
One of the scary things I feel is if they have specific speed thresholds to kind of avoid you getting hit by certain things, like you have to move fast enough to dodge the giant cannon in the middle. What I'm worried about is when a lot of people refit their ships, they took siege targeting off and put the high velocity rounds on. So that means you need to use nuclear accelerators to get your other range buff. And the nuclear accelerators give you bonus combat speed. And my concern is that they will make the speed threshold not only a Harlock ironclad, but a Harlock ironclad with getting the other weapon and special that aren't intended for the ironclad, just so you get an extra 23.8% or whatever combat speed. and you need all of that stuff that wasn't intended.
Well, let's hope not, because not everybody went and got those Harlocks because they couldn't, because it was 30k.
Yeah,
it's
good.
They just couldn't get it. A lot of people struggled to get to 30 just to get the main prize. So, that was a double or nothing sort of thing. Okay. All right. I just thought we'd bring those questions. Yeah, it is as well, and that sort of stuff, And, the brief I got was, well, these PvE holes are intentionally high maintenance because actually what you're supposed to go out is go and feather the targets and then go back and fix quickly for half an hour. A bit like the Ironclad. You go and hit a 97, you'll go back in and then you'll fix it for 20 minutes and you go, thank you very much, and pop out again. You can do that all evening long. However, when you go into something that's really important, a bit like this TLC, and all of a sudden you find them getting smashed and they're dead, a bit like going in and hitting, obviously, and killing your tides, then it starts not being so funny. And then we're going back almost 12 months where actually the fixed time is like, well, that's me for the night. I'm out. I'm done. So thanks, Kixie. That's my game done, and I'll see you tomorrow. And that's not what we want. So, if we want to keep them in the chair and keep them engaged, then it's got to be a balanced game. But anyway, right. Let's move on to the last thing.
Go on.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
It was all right until the current siege raid, where the repair time is crazy if you make one mistake. I mean, previously with the subs, you could take a couple of hits and you were all right, but now it's just like one mistake or two mistakes and you're knackered. As you say, you got a 12, 14-hour repair.
Frustrating, isn't it?
Very much so.
Well, let's see. We haven't seen the S target yet, and I'm hoping it's nothing like this thing that's in this TLC and that stuff. I mean, if it's a I don't know. We'll see. That to me, that S target. Oh, sorry, the last target in this TLC looks like it's a ranking target where you just go in and blitz yourself and just instantly kill and then go and coin the fix. That sort of stuff. It's just like a bloody a VXP weekend target to me. But we'll see. Right. So what I'm going to do, if you wouldn't mind, then we'll go on to the last bit, which I'm going to have to screen share. And then usually for a open mic, I've got some slides, but there's only 3. Okay, and one of them's a title screen. So can everybody see that?
Yep.
Okay, so guys in chat, what we're going to cover now then basically is the base planner. And there's been quite a bit of discussion about illegal bases, and if your tiles are incorrect, you're going to get banned, and there's been lots of discussions. And I don't know if Lorraine's just in the chat, but he's also put some posts up on the Kickside forum, that sort of stuff. So I got a bit peeved myself, and I went, right, okay, let's get a default answer to this, okay? And so I need absolutely a textbook answer. George did hit the right buttons, okay, then, and he did state that what was correct and what wasn't correct, and he was actually factually right, okay. But for a lot of people, it was
Still confusing.
It wasn't as clear as maybe it could have been. So
right.
I've took it back to Kixie, to the designated person that could answer the question, and he came back with the right information, and he's given me some examples as well. So we're going to put up these examples now. We'll then put them on the page, and it absolutely makes sense, because what you can do, what you can't do legally, what you can do, there is no point. But you can do it if you want to, and it makes absolutely clear what you can't do, and we'll clarify about the banning and the not banning in a minute as well. So let's just go forward a slide. I'm just going to change screens a minute.
I'm gonna pop in because I'm gonna actually go back, and Laredo said that we have seen the T6 targets. So
all right,
we'll go and chat about that afterwards. But go ahead.
Okay. All right, yeah, if you wouldn't mind, because we'll get some clarification of that for the midweek show, then if you wouldn't mind, mate, that'd be quite good, because I've got to shoot off in about 10 minutes myself, because I'm going to go watch Rogue One, believe it or not. So I've got a family waiting for me in the next door. So as it says there then, so this is quite a busy sort of slide, but actually it's a statement and then my summary, the condensed version. So the statement there, obviously from Skargi, okay then, which is one of the dedicated Kickside game designers, okay. So he's the person I was interacting with, and he said I can quote him. So that is exactly it, word for word, okay then. So then basically I sent him that picture, and you can see then in A, from the picture then, if you're reading as well, you can see basically that you can have a linear formation, and you can legally, no problem at all, and you will not get banned, do that diamond formation. There's no problem at all. When you're running up and down in a linear motion, so that's running up and coming back 180 degrees of the way, it's no problem at all. You will not get banned for that. That is permissible. However, the second you deviate away from the linear line, and that's whether it goes to the left or to the right, but the second you turn off that straight line and then start to build, that is then illegal.
Yeah,
that's it.
You cannot build off of the diagonal.
Yeah, so you can go straight, you know, although it's a 45-degree angle, yeah, but you can go straight up and straight down like that. So in A, but as soon as you start to turn, okay, in either direction, like it is in B, then that highlights, okay, the red flag tiles there, okay, and then you can't do it. There's a so what to this, and we'll come on to that in a second, okay? And so that's it, black and white. Now, the way they're going to override this, basically, is when you go into the base planner, and you do manage to do that, because there is one way of doing it at the moment, you won't be able to save the base, and you won't be able to leave base planner either. That's what they're going to do. And basically, as soon as you've done it, and you've done it in base view mode, and you manage to do it as well, you won't be able to set any of your fleets onto the sea. You won't be able to go out of your base. It'll tell you to adjust. So that's how they're going to do it. Okay. So move forward one slide, and we've got some. So this was the picture, obviously, that I think George popped up. So where it says legal and illegal and that sort of stuff, and there's one there that's in black. Now, the one that's in black is because the base template increased, but the red squared areas didn't increase to compensate for the template increasing. So it's not showing any red tiles on that top one that's in black, but it is still, that's what they call the glitch. Okay, and the glitch is it's not showing the red tiles, but the concept is still the same, and you can't do it.
So that glitch, to be clear, that glitch, the only reason why it's happening is because it's in the new area that OP9 gave us, and this will get you banned, because one of the anti-hack thingy bobs that Kixeye uses actually looks for this. That's why if you see the red part, the red circle where it's illegal, I put a couple of different ways of making it illegal. If you're in the old part of the base planner or the footprint, the old footprint, it'll come up correct. But when you go into the new part of the footprint, you'll get what you get up in the top corner that I circled in black. It is not legal to do that. That is a bannable offense because it's a glitch, and it's been known and it's been told. Like we've had plenty of notice you can't do it. The diagonals themselves are legal. It's the building off of the diagonals that are not. And I don't know, like I seem to not be able to articulate this clear enough for people to understand it, because I had tried to explain this in the forums when it initially came up, and I ended up having to get a hold of Scar and send this actual picture in to explain what was going on, which it helped, and I'm glad. And hopefully they get it done. It's probably not going to be. Mark, did he say it's not going to be next week, the week after maybe?
Yeah, well, they're going to do it as soon as they can, but basically they're going to do two things at once. A, they're going to notify that basically you can't leave your dock unless you correct it. So you shouldn't need to be banned. And that's the thing they're going to try and clarify now, that because there's a lot of people who don't read forums. There's a lot of people who don't come on our page.
Okay, I missed that part. That's the part that I missed.
Well, that's a little bit of interaction I had with him personally. So the plan is to try and do it so that basically you can't actually utilize any of your ships and go out on there until you've corrected your base and put it back within the region.
Good. Okay, I like that.
Maybe
I like that. That's a good catch.
Is that people has the concept that when they build the base, they can't just make one of those spiral things that we all have. That is what we make the perimeter. Problem is that if you go diagonals, what maybe they don't realize is that you cannot make that a spiral thing anymore, because you cannot, in any of those legal ones, you cannot just go now and build one that goes the other way around in 90 degrees either, because that will be legal, and because there will be just one spot of water in between 3 tiles and that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the closest you can get two together there. That's as close as they'll get. You can't get any closer than that.
Yeah, but I mean, you go this way, this diagonal, and now you cannot cover the diagonal that will go from to the right side.
I used this originally back in 2011 when I first started playing the game, and what I did was I had one side of my base had that as a wall, and then my base was like in the smaller part of the footprint. I just used it to kind of take up time, because back then you could actually get people to time out. So you can actually go corner down to the end and then corner again. But the problem is since you can't build off of it, it's essentially useless unless you use something very, very, very niche. And I don't know that it's actually a viable option nowadays. Back then it was. Now I don't think it is.
And unless you've got a really unusual base design, or you end up sudden put all your turrets on the water, and then you do something special in the middle, I don't see any points, because as soon as these diagonals, and yes, you can go the other 45-degree angle, obviously, as the bottom circle, but as soon as you get them within 2 tiles, then they'll flag up red anyway, so that you can't make them connect with each other, so people can sail through. So you're not gaining a great deal anyway. And actually, your channel at 45 degrees as they are running there, yeah, it's not good. John's got to drop out. Okay, take care, mate. Thanks for coming in. So I don't see the benefit of it particularly, but you know, people will come up with ideas as they always do, and it's great. But just let me clarify the facts. So the plan is then, I'm not saying it's definite, but the plan is then you won't be able to launch from your base if you've got a base design that doesn't conform to the standard terms of service, and that's obviously the ones that say illegal there you can't have, and some people are putting their borders a little bit further outside the white line there, because you can do it actually in base view, and you go into base planner view and it's gone out and it's turned red. Okay, you won't be able to launch then either. That's the plan anyway. All right, so you shouldn't have to have anybody banned and that sort of stuff, but you'll be going, why can't I launch ships? And I can see what's going to happen on the forums is they're going to go mental and they're going, oh, the game's busted, I can't do this, can't do that. Well, it's better than having a ban, because that's one of the things that's going to proper, you know, turn people off and that sort of stuff. So we'll just advertise it everywhere on all the different pages on BB guys, and obviously the cribs and all that sort of stuff. We'll all have to say it and that sort of stuff. But that's it as far as I've got so far. So that's the textbook answer. Okay, and so I will post these slides up as well, and George can answer them. Okay,
yeah, I love the fact that they have decided to find a solution rather than doing the auto ban thing. I'm loving the fact that they actually out of the ban said, hey, you know what, we're going to figure out a way to not do that and screw up everything. So
well, that's the intent.
Kudos to them. Yeah,
that's the intent. So if that comes off, that would be great news. And I don't know, it may not be possible, and they may have to come up with something different. I don't know, but that is the intent, that you wouldn't be able to come out of your base until you corrected it. So that'd be good. You know,
well, they did that with the square base thing too, so they should be able to. That actually is a good idea to bring that back.
And it's, you know, and just for once, okay, and that's a way of them fixing the game without penalising the person. The person just has to go, right, okay, I'm outside the perimeters, I'll crack on, make the adjustment. It hasn't cost me. I've not got banned. I've not, you know, it's not done anything else. So it's you know, it's a logical and actually quite sensible way of getting things back on track without threatening to ban people and that sort of stuff. So you know. And it is. I mean, I couldn't work out until I saw this slide, and particularly saw your slide that you posted, your example you posted, George, why, you know, 45-degree angles, they weren't showing red in some of the base plan. And I was like, I don't get this. I couldn't work it out. You know,
yeah.
and now I understand it. You know.
Yeah, I'm sorry it wasn't as clear as, I mean, in my head it was clear. You know what I mean? It was one of those things in my head I knew exactly what I found. I guess I just wasn't articulating it clear enough for everybody to follow. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We've got it now, mate. So like I say, I'll pop those up, or I'll put them in the admin, and then you can write a piece on it. And I think we should put that on the blog as well, mate. So, like I say, it's the intent is not to ban people. The intent is to have it so that, like I said, you know, it'll just won't let you launch or something like that. So, and it definitely won't let you save either. So that's the plan. Let's see.
But I like the idea, because you will send a ticket if you can. If you don't understand why you cannot send fluids, and they will let you know. Because there is people that doesn't watch our shows, there's people that doesn't go to the forums, doesn't go to the group pages and the like. So there is just going still to be people that found this by a chance while they were working a base design, and so that they were not getting the red flag on the tile, and thought that was legal and built it that way.
Yeah, no, agreed. So that's it. That's what I've got for tonight. Is there anybody got any key points they want to bring up this evening? Anything that
I want to say kudos to Kickside, because after all those misleadings that came with the December rate and alike, I heard the rumor, I don't know if it's real or not, that the Hardlock Ironclad and the Hardlock Cannoneer may be coming back next rate. I don't know if it's right or not.
That'd be good.
It's just a rumor. I hope it is. And also for that extending of the Forsaken Mission week, so you can get tokens to build or refit.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So the rate's the 16th, by the way. Yeah, it's the 16th of next month.
Yeah, because with that thing, we are getting 28 build date tokens if you are on tier 5, getting all your blueprints regularly, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, if you're caught up, that's 17 days minimum. That's a ship and change.
Yeah. A Harlock as well. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. I mean, that's going to have a knock-on effects. It's a short month next month, isn't it? So it'll probably be a late one as well in March, I think, to be honest. I think it'll need to be the third week as well. So, but yeah, it is good news.
Maybe we lose 1 week on the next rate and it's just 2 or 3, I don't know. But the fact that you can, because on the first one, probably nobody was ready for it because the weapons came late and the special also came late. But now you have all the stuff, all the gear to build your fleet, and 1 extra week and 10 days more of tokens means a lot.
Massively. Oh yeah, huge.
Because you can build even the Harlock Ironclad or the Harlock Cannoneer, I think, in that time using days and tokens. If not, you're not getting that far from getting it built.
People are generally going to gain a ship. They should be able to gain a ship anyway, because even if you're only getting to tier 4, you're getting an extra 4 days worth of tokens. So as long as you're up there, so it's good news. 4 days plus obviously an extra 7 days of things. You're doing fine. 11 days you can get one out virtually in that time. So yeah, it's good news. Anything else, guys? As if not, I'm going to call it. Yeah,
I got two things. The first one is that just to reiterate, Laredo has said that we saw the tier 6 target. He said he's not going to say when we saw it. Presuming, because I've looked at some of the stuff that we've done in the TLC, I'm kind of leaning towards the VXP target.
I'm hoping it does because I like that.
That one. I think
besides, it was introduced that way. If you remember on that post from Don Rooster,
didn't he? Yeah.
He said it was.
That was his minds, one of the possible ones.
Well, he said it was a preview to it, which means that it can change, but that's that was the preview. So I'm presuming that. The other thing is the way that these targets are coming. Like I'm looking at the A targets and the ones that I'm kind of guessing are going to be the map targets going forward for our not uranium. We already got those. The base parts. I'm sorry for base
the base parts ones. Yeah.
And and at the same time, because
73.
Just logistically, I think that they're going to change the mines and the not the big direct bases and the dubs at the same time, because it's so unbalanced right now with the ironclad that I would expect to see changes of all of that coming after this raid set. The only issue that I have, and I would hope that Kixeye sits and thinks about this, is that all of this stuff, a lot of it's hinging on teal, yellow, orange sector threat stuff. All of these targets are taking a lot longer in terms of time investment, and I would hope that they just think about it and kind of tune that back a little bit so it's easier, either by cutting the thermal in the uranium target so you can zip through them real quick with our wraiths and still take no damage like we were in the Reaver Armadas or something, because if everything takes so much time just to do a chore, we're not going to have time to play the game. That's just something I want them to contemplate as they're going forward, because I think it's something that could easily compound to the point of backfiring on everybody.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So, and don't you guys think that they should find some reason for the assault targets?
A reason for them?
Because the garrison ones are the Forsaken mission. The siege ones are the base pass one. The skirmish is the one for the uranium bag. What's the point of the assault legion ones?
Mega hull.
The LAFs. Well, yeah, Mega Hull and LAFs.
Well, how about ship parts? They can come up with that. Everyone would love it.
Yeah, they could. As long as they put no more targets on the thing, because there was a bit of the chat earlier on about
ecstatic,
lag.
but I don't think that's going to
there was
happen.
a bit about people talking about lag and that sort of stuff. Well, that's simply because there's so many freaking things on the sea. Yet again, you go into a quiet sector, you don't get any lag. You go into a sector that's full, like the sector at the moment. Once you've scanned, as soon as you scanned around the sector a little bit and that sort of stuff, and zipped up and gone, I got a couple of, 57s.
Okay,
it's awful.
I have a secret that works on that, especially when you're in I didn't know, and I was told, and I want to share with everybody. If you go into your Chrome and you press Ctrl-Shift-N, I think it's the keys. Let me check one moment. Yes, you open it's a new window in incognito mode. If you do that new window doesn't have any of the extensions you're using in your Chrome, and that kills all the lag you're having at the moment, because part of the lag, Kixeye is right, is on your side. It's because all those extensions are taking a lot of your memory. And they are provoking lag, because if you not try go in incognito mode and play your game, you will have to put your login each time you do that way, and you will see that your lag gets,
I've tried
say 90-95%.
Yeah, no, I've tried it in incognito mode, and it doesn't really. If you're in a busy sector, you'll still get the lag. I still have.
I am in a busy sector, and for me, worker. I don't know if you have anything else that is eating your memory.
And just in time, Stu's just turned in, so we're just about going to mega ships. That's good. That's handy.
Awesome. So Stu,
Oh fuck! Are we really?
what do you think? What do you think about the new? Yeah, what do you think about the TLC? What do you think about the TLC for the mega ship stuff? For the megabits?
Yeah, it's like amazing and stuff. Probably.
So the big question is:
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out
double
of 10
shard
would coin my mega
weekend?
again.
how many gantry parts you got in this double shard weekend?
It doesn't
Right,
double
now
the
you see, I only have 4 days left for my gantry to build, so get screwed.
Oh, check you out.
Did someone take the special offer and send you the gantry parts?
Yeah, I heard something like that. They are going to make a TLC next week, and you get double gantry parts. And you use that one. Same way you get uranium and base parts now. But it's going
You're
to be
joking,
one
aren't
for
you?
gantry parts only.
left.
You just bought them.
One for gantry parts and another one for mega ship.
Don't wind up anymore.
It's called
You'll go and rage quit.
I just bought them.
You'll go and rage quit. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Who's gonna flip out?
Right,
I caught up
guys.
in words
Right.
in the chat. There you go.
I need to shoot, guys. Okay, that's an hour and 20. Okay, you can do the after chat afterwards and that sort of stuff. I'll put the link up in the. I'll do it now in the chat so people have got it. I'll say good evening to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming in on the chat, guys. It's an interesting evening. It blasted through. We look forward to next week's update. God knows what they're going to do. Okay, and
I
hopefully
was
fix
here
some.
the whole time, yeah? I was
Hopefully
here the whole
fix some
time.
stuff. Yeah, Stu's been in. Stu will be in for the after chat, and he'll talk megas with
No,
you.
I was here the whole time. I was at the start, all right?
All right, okay, mate. You were
Yeah,
on chat, mate. I saw you on.
Enjoy the movie.
I'll see you on chat.
Have fun.
So take care all, and I'll speak to you, and hopefully we'll have Liam back on Tuesday because I think he's probably actually caught up with his real life now that he can actually come back and do some of this and not leave me to all of it. Right, good night all. Take care.
All right. Good night, guys.
Night, everybody.
See you later.
See you later, everyone.